Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light. You are beautiful just the way you are. Step into the love. You're illuminated by the glory of God's love. Step into the truth. From within your abundance overflows. Our love can change one life. One life can change the world. Step into the light. Step into the love. Step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me. Step with me. Step into the light. Step into the love. Step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me. Step with me. Step into the light.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vida Spiritual Learning Center. Delighted that you've joined us here today. Welcome to our folks on Facebook live stream and YouTube live stream as well. Thank you for joining us. You're in the right place to live your best life, to learn spiritual living. That's what Vida Vida Spiritual Learning Center is all about. And part of that living your best life is to understand a little bit more about our community, and the way in which we begin learning about our community is by reminding ourselves of our vision and mission. So just change over to that slide for you. So I'm just going to read this vision and mission to you at first. And then I'm going to invite you to, for those that are joining us on Zoom, I'm going to invite you to unmute and say it all together, just so we get the flavor of it and we hear this vision and mission in our own voice. Our ears love to hear our voice speak spiritual truth to our psyche. So that's part of this spiritual practice. So here goes. By valuing and empowering all, we inspire a fulfilling and joyous life. A valorar y potenciar todo, inspiramos una vida plena y alegre. Well, you all sounded wonderful, and I hope you got the flavor of that vision and mission, the power and the transformative nature of it. At least it is for me. And I want to move into our next part of our spiritual practice. I want to bring on our practitioner, Jan Hartman. There she is. And she's joining us today from Iowa. And we are in great hands as she leads us in a meditation and an invocation.
Okay. And it's a good morning And here we are at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, either through Zoom or live. And it is the first Sunday in May. And I'm remembering May Day and all the little flower baskets we used to create and take around in our neighborhood and deliver them to people's doors, and all the little fresh little violets and even dandelions, lilacs. It didn't matter what it was as long as we could put them in the basket and say Happy May Day. And so today I would be really honored if I could move you through a spiritual practice of meditation and go through that with each of you. Every day, each and every day, we are given the gift of 1,440 minutes. Each day we have that 1,440 minutes. And then each day the clock resets. And we can choose to put our thoughts and our emotions to work for our good and for the good of all. About 75 years ago, Dale Carnegie published a poem reminding us to stay in the beauty and the presence of today. And there are many adaptations of this poem, and I'm going to choose one today so that we can practice together in community a little bit of meditation about staying present, about being in exactly where we need to be, which is today. No thoughts of past, no thoughts of future. And so I simply want you all to join me and practice this together in community. So let's begin to settle into the stillness. Let's begin to move into that place of your time with the beloved. You know exactly how to move into the space and the time that reconnects you with your spirit, that relaxes you, that opens you up to all that God has just for you today. So eyes closed or not, slow, soft gaze, letting your breathing slow your pace. Breathing in, that breath of God. Breathing out, all that is here for us. Breathing in, that breath of God, and breathing out into this shifting and settling and relaxing in your seat. I will move you through some phrases from the poem, and I'll give you time in between to absorb the thoughts and the feelings that may show up for you. So just relax, and I will walk you into this process, and I will bless you out when all is complete. So simply pay attention to whatever it is that you need in your connection with Spirit today. Just for today, I will slow down and be present to as many minutes as I can. I will slow down and be present to as many minutes as I can. Just for today, I will remember that happiness flows from within as we live our practice of God's love. Happiness flows from within as we live our practice of God's love. And just for today, I will be with what is and not try to have everything match up to my understanding. It is okay to experience being in the question. I will be with what is and not try to have everything match up to my understanding. It is okay to experience being in the question. And what does that mean to be in the question? And just for today, my friends, find ways to strengthen your mind. Focus on thought choices that bring you to love and joy. Find ways to strengthen your mind. Focus on thought choices that bring you to love and joy. And just for today, I will be fearless in a new and invigorating way. I will not be afraid to be happy, to enjoy what is beautiful, to love, and to believe that those I love love me. I will be fearless in a new and invigorating way. I will not be afraid to be happy, to enjoy what is beautiful, to love and to believe that those I love love me. Just for today, I give myself permission to be who I am, God's great wonder. Just for today, I give myself permission to be who I am, God's great wonder. And isn't that a great thing to be? God's great wonder. God's great wonder. And now, ever so gently, collect the blessings that have been revealed to you during all of this time. Slowly return yourself to the surroundings and your renewed self right here in this present moment. Relish the power of this time together. See each other and know each other as community. and join my heart as I pray. We are refreshed. Trust that you are unified with your source, knowing to your depth that the divine brings forth always, always, always. I am, you are, we are eternally connected with all that Spirit has ever expressed, and all of it is good. All of it is good and perfect. We are whole. It's all God. Each unique expression is good and part of the essence of the life that God is. It is all God. So I, you, we are blessed as a divine community. We lean into Reverend Sunshine's message today, thankful for the love that pours forth, claiming right here and right now a divine commitment to be inspired, a divine commitment to ever offer love and joy and peace to the world. My gratefulness for this truth is huge. I live in the thanksgiving of it all. Surrendering these words, I speak into the law and the love that God is, and it is done. I know it complete. I feel it complete, joyful, and so very, very good. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is. Jan, thank you so much. I feel centered and empowered. Thank you. All right, we have a few announcements this morning, and we're going to start by talking about Reverend Sunshine's A Spiritual Remedy. And this is something you can partake with her on Mondays at 9 a.m. And it's Vida SLC Facebook Live. We're also highlighting CSL's Teen Summer Camp, and this is an in-person camp at this time. And there we go. It's in person this time, after our long COVID time away. So the teens can actually get together, and it's going to be at Camp Cedar Ridge in Vernonia, Oregon. And it's going to be held July 6th through the 13th. And the cost for the teens is $525. Registration will be open starting this week, May 6th through June 6th. And for more information, go to csl.org/teencamp and ask about scholarship opportunities. We don't want to see anyone not be able to go for whatever reason. So be there along with us for that. All right. And of course, this morning we do want to acknowledge all of those who make this possible, and a special thanks to that great meditation from our practitioner of the day, Jan Hartman. We show Jan a little bit of love. And also in anticipation of the message this morning from Reverend Sunshine. And as we also look at our live stream moderators, those folks who are out there on both YouTube and Facebook, keeping watch over what's happening. And, we certainly wouldn't be doing all of this without our leadership council, and they're the kind of the behind the curtain folks who make sure that all of the stuff that we do here at Vida happens. And, where would we be, of course, without our music team to give us all of that wonderful stuff to be singing and to enjoy ourselves each week. And, of course, to all of you who are joining us today, whether you're here on Zoom or on Facebook or on YouTube, we welcome you this morning. And as we talk about spiritual practices, one of the ones that we look at every week is our idea of giving as a spiritual practice. And this is where we give back just a portion of what we receive to that place in which we are spiritually fed. And if Vida is the place you're spiritually fed, then we ask you to contribute to us, and you can do that in several ways. You can send your gift to our address at 1524 East Hellman Street, and that's in Long Beach, California, 90813. You can also use your bill pay service through your bank. And if you would like to do a direct one, you can also use the donate buttons, which is in the chat and also on our website for credit card and debit contributions. And we also have the use of Zelle, which is if you set that up through your bank, you simply send your gift to Vida at vidacsl.org. All right. And when we talk about our giving, we also have an affirmation that we say together. So I'm going to invite everyone to unmute, and we'll have that wonderful togetherness as we say this affirmation together. Are we ready? Here we go.
Abundance flows
in my
in my
life.
life.
I
I
am
am
blessed with
blessed with
prosperity.
prosperity.
I
I
give
give
with
with generosity.
generosity.
Yes.
I
I tithe
on
on faith, belief, and with a consciousness of love. My gift is a divine circulation through me that now benefits and grows our spiritual community and beyond. And now it is.
And now it is. All right, so we're going to invite you all to
Walking in the Spirit. Walking in the Spirit. Walking in the Spirit. The Spirit of one God. Loving in the Spirit. Loving in the Spirit. Loving in the Spirit. The Spirit of one God. Moving in the Spirit. Oh, moving. I'm moving.
Hello, beloveds. Today, I want to talk about emotions. As it is the beginning of May Day, May the 1st, We've been looking at this year's theme as living everyday wonder. And how can we live everyday wonder unless we begin to take a look at our emotions? And so for the month of May, we're going to be exploring our emotions. In particular, what's on your spice rack? And what's lovely about today's talk topic is that emotions, we have so many that it is indeed like having a spice rack, because there are a variety of emotions that spice up our life as human beings. And what I want to talk about today is really taking a look at whether we run towards our emotions or whether we run from our emotions. And we'll have an opportunity to take a look at what it means to be balanced with our emotions. And so as we begin to learn to lean into our emotions, we can actually begin to learn from our emotions, and we can begin to create balance in our life and actually kind of serve up a little recipe with all the spices, aka all of the emotions of our life. I want to remind us that we're taking a look as well as our affirmation for the week, which is, I am blessed and grateful for my emotions and feelings. I am blessed and grateful for my emotions and my feelings. And by the end of our time together today, I wonder if you are the one who's going to be like, I am blessed and grateful for my emotions and my feelings. When we might be the ones who start off going, oh no, I am told I am too emotional, I'm too in my feelings, and things of that nature. You know, our feelings are actually amazing resources, because when we pay attention to our emotions and our feelings, we actually learn about ourselves. My emotions provide me with so much information. They actually lead me and act as a guide in my mental capacity as I take a look at what comes up for me in certain situations and certain circumstances. My emotions actually help me to reflect and explore and grow. And I don't know about you, but I want to continue to grow. I see myself as someone who is always uncovering things about myself that I didn't know before. And so as we take a look at what's in your spice rack, let's put together something that is quite tasty and quite in balance. So I wanna just kind of dive right in, because this month we're also going to be looking at 4 key emotions. We're going to look at fear, we're going to look at happiness, we're going to look at anger, and we're going to look at sadness. And of course, we're going to explore other emotions. I do want to just kind of really state that, okay, this is one of my pet peeves, all right? You know, there's 6 basic emotions in which all the other names and all the other descriptions of emotions come from. There's mad, sad, glad, fear, surprise, and disgust. All right? Mad, sad, glad, fear, surprise, and disgust. We're going to be taking a look at fear, happiness, anger, and sadness this month, and of course explore some of the other emotions and, you know, the names that we use for them. But one of my pet peeves is when people say, I feel like you're not listening to me. And I think to myself, that's not a feeling, that's a thought. And so I really want, as we dive into looking at our emotions this month, I really want us to begin to differentiate what is a feeling, an emotion, energy in motion, emotion. There's movement, there's action, energy in motion, and putting a label to that energy compared to what is the thought that you're having. So when people say, I feel like you're not listening to me, or I feel like there's something missing, that's not really a feeling as much as it's a thought. So I feel empty. I feel sad. Like when you want to say, I feel like something's missing. There's that energy in motion. So I feel blank. Anytime we use I feel like, that is not a feeling, that is a thought. All right, so let's begin to actually say what we mean and mean what we say as we begin to really explore this idea of emotions. And so emotions give me, give you, give the listener and the speaker an idea of the mental equivalent of the person speaking. The mental equivalent of the person speaking. So when I have energy in motion, it is a base sometimes in some deep-rooted beliefs. Sometimes beliefs that are so deep-rooted that I don't even know that they're there. They're so implicit that the emotion is coming up. There's energy in motion, and yet I don't know the root cause of that emotion. But that emotion actually points to a mental equivalent, or it points to a thought that is so that the emotion, that the energy in motion is based out of. I want to remind us that we cannot necessarily like pray it away and do some like spiritual bypass and it's going to go away. What I want us to really recognize is that these deep-rooted emotions are actually deeply rooted because they are a belief that there's lack, limitation, doubt, fear. There is a belief in separation. And when we believe in separation, what we might call negative emotions emerge. When we are steeped in our oneness, in our wholeness, in spirit, in essence, then those emotions, that energy in motion is usually what people might call positive, or the ones that we really enjoy feeling the most. So you might even realize that you might have like a misperception or a false narrative that's trying to appear. You might realize through your emotions that you're trying to assign meaning to something, and it doesn't really mean that. But if and when we continue to explore these emotions, we'll realize that the truth comes from delving into more of our emotions. And so the idea is to be in balance, to be so balanced that we can pick and choose in our spice rack what emotions actually, really light us up and also really set us up for an amazing, amazing life. So let's talk about, first of all, running from your emotions. You know, most of us as children were taught to run from our emotions. We're taught to shut down our feelings, not to express them. Um, these things, these lessons that we learn are also based in our gender, in our race, based on cultural norms, on gender roles and norms. Boys don't cry. You know, we're taught that some emotions are bad and some emotions are good, or positive and negative. And what I want to just say is that emotions are emotions. They are emotions. They are information. And this, you know, these ideas about our emotions, they can cause us to berate ourselves. They can cause us to feel badly about ourselves. And this is exactly how our thoughts and beliefs develop, and they get hidden deep down. Like, okay, they're not going to show or rear their ugly heads, if you will, but doesn't mean that those beliefs are not there. And our behaviors are based on our beliefs. I say this often is that, you know, we go and we sit down in a chair. Why? Because we believe that that chair is going to hold us up. We don't examine that chair. We don't check it out for its integrity. We just go and we sit down. We behave based on our beliefs. And so based on our beliefs, we might experience jealousy, anxiety, we might experience anger, hatred, or despair, or depression. And these hidden beliefs could actually sabotage our heart's desires, and we may not even know that they're there because they're so hidden. But by facing our emotions and by looking at them, unpacking them, looking to see what's underneath, we can actually learn how these hidden beliefs originated and how they got implanted in such an implicit way. It's important for us to do our healing work. And it is a process. And so instead of hiding from it or ignoring our emotions, instead of blowing up or flying off the handle, when we begin to embrace our emotions, we can begin to uncover the hurt and the pain, and we can begin a forgiveness process that allows us to be free, that allows us to show some self-compassion, that allows us to love ourselves and stop betraying ourselves, and really allows us to grow. And so the question is are you willing to grow? Are you willing now to go to any lengths to have some balance in your life where it comes to your emotions? Because you see, by welcoming your emotions, by saying, hey, come on in, have a seat, sit down, tell me what you're here to show me, to discover, help me discover. By doing that, we are actually spiritually maturing. And we're taking a look and we're saying, wait a minute, I am not going to let these seeds that other people planted in my life become the rule in my life. I'm not going to allow these seeds that have been planted or that I've even nurtured unknowingly to take root in my life and actually destroy my life, make my life painful, make it so that I am not living my best life. And why we come to spiritual communities like this and why we listen to inspirational messages like this is so that we can actually reconnect with consciousness, aka God, aka life, aka source, so that we can reconnect and that we can uproot all of these false ideas and this erroneous way of thinking and being, so that then these antiquated beliefs don't trigger these behaviors and we don't have this energy and motion that sabotages and betrays our life. You see, beloved, when we use a spiritual practice like a mantra, My life is amazing. I am healthy and wealthy and wise. When we say I'm getting better and better each and every day, when we say my life is the life of God, I am one. I am the unique, magnificent way that spirit is expressing itself in human form. When we use mantras, when we journal, when we meditate, when we are visiting and working with a practitioner or a prayer partner, these are healthy ways to welcome in or to welcome your emotions to show up. And for us, for you and I to learn from the tenderness, from the pain, and even from the bliss. You see, when we take a look and we are courageous enough to look at our emotions, and courage means that there's some fear there, but we're going to walk through it anyway. When we're courageous enough that we actually strengthen our faith and we strengthen our spiritual base. It's through this intuitive listening. It's through allowing that still small voice to guide you and to explore these areas that have been so untapped for so long. Do not be afraid of your emotions. Do not be afraid of your sadness. I am not afraid of your sadness. I'm not afraid of your tears. I'm not afraid of your joy. I am not afraid of your energy in motion. Sometimes I'm afraid of mine. And by looking, by welcoming it, by being a first responder to my own emotions, by taking the time to simply apply my spiritual practices, which is exactly what I'm inviting you to do, to take your time and apply your spiritual practices, that you are then lovingly supported to go deeper and deeper in the exploration of your emotions. And you can unpack and learn that they are actually there to teach you a lesson or to guide you, to remind you of the places where you are genuinely recognizing that your life is the life of God, and in the areas where you are not recognizing that your life is the life of God. See, it's all about having balance, beloveds. And so the idea is to be in balance and to be in harmony with your emotions. And usually in the spice rack, there are various spices, some that go together and some that don't. So what's on your spice rack? Like, where is your spectrum of bland or spicy or salty or sweet? And how do you mix it up for yourself so that you are living your best life? You see, because sometimes when we have people who do spiritual bypass, too much joy and too much bliss, and too much overexcitement, it's just too much. And then sometimes we're out of balance as well because we have too much anxiety or too much fear or too much sadness. And that causes insecurities, and it causes isolation, and it causes feelings of unworthiness and doubt. But when we allow ourselves to dance like the ocean gives us a wave and that ebb and that flow, when we allow ourselves to really recognize these energies in motion, that they are simply signs of some beliefs, deep-rooted beliefs, then we can look at them and say, yes, this is ones I love, and no, this one I'm ready to let go of. It is an erroneous thought, an erroneous way of being, an erroneous way of thinking that no longer serves me. And by reconnecting with consciousness, by reconnecting with that indwelling power and presence, we get this opportunity to really work with our energy in motion, our emotions and our feelings, and recognize that we get to clean up, or actually correct, not even clean up because they're not dirty, but to correct the beliefs that have been acting as a law in our life. You see, our spiritual practice is an excellent way to stay grounded and to stay balanced and to process all of the emotions that are in your spice rack. So here's our call to action, right? Stay aware, not away. Stay aware of your thoughts. Stay aware of your moods. Stay aware of your disposition on a daily basis. Create balance in your life. What does your spiritual practices look like? You know, each and every week, we show a slide, and here it is again. We show a slide of spiritual practices. Engage in your daily meditation, your daily affirmative prayers, your daily study and reading and journaling and visioning. What is the highest and best? What is God's grandest idea for me in my life today as we begin the day? Right? And even our weekly spiritual practices, like being in sacred service and seva, seeing our practitioner or our minister for a coaching session, you know, giving, tithing, donating our time, our talent, and our treasures to our spiritual community, being with one another in beloved community, and that's coming up for us really, really soon. And so as we begin to stay balanced, I love what Eric Butterworth says. He says, nothing else can satisfy or fulfill unless you enjoy the freedom that comes from control of your inner world of mind and emotion. And so you are the captain of your spiritual practice. And that's what Eric Butterworth means here in spiritual economics when he is speaking about control of your inner mind and emotions. When you are in control of your spiritual practices, when you engage in them on a regular basis, it helps to keep your mind on track with that which is the truth of who you are, that you are the unique, powerful, unrepeatable, magnificent way that spirit shows up in human form. And because your energy in motion is all based on your thoughts and beliefs, when you are steeped in this truth and this knowing, then your emotions can't help but shine forth and actually support you in your day-to-day living. So, are you the one now who's going to say with me, I am blessed and grateful for my emotions? Say it with me right now. I am blessed and grateful for my emotions. Let's go into prayer. How grateful I am in this moment to speak the word, to recognize the one power, one presence, one life that is spirit, that is living spirit, that is love, that is joy, that is peace, that is harmony, that is power and presence. It goes by many names: Yahweh, Jehovah, God, life, Father Sky, Mother Earth, whatever it is that we call this great reality, this infinite intelligence, we know that it has created everything out of itself. Therefore, my life is the unique and unrepeatable way that spirit shows up in human form. And as I know that this is my truth, I know that this is the truth for each and every person who is within the sound of my voice, within this beautiful Vida spiritual learning community. I know that God is expressing magnificently in, through, and as each and every one of us, and that which is true of God is true for each and every one of us, that the love that God is, I am, that the joy that Spirit is, I am, that the peace and the power that infinite intelligence is, I am, that the harmony and the wholeness that loving Spirit is, I am. And as I know that this is my truth, I know that this is the truth for each and every one of us. And so I simply speak a word of blessing now, simply calling forth into the activity of this community, this beloved community's life. I simply call forth health and wholeness. I call forth love. I call forth harmony. I call forth peace and love and joy. I call forth balance. For this is the nature of who we are. So I'm simply calling it forth into the activity of our very life. Ah, yes. Because I pray believing that it is done, I simply release this word now into the activity of the law, knowing that the law says yes, and that everything is coming together for our greatest and our highest good, and everything is rushing towards each and every one of us, bringing that joy, that love, that peace, that harmony, bringing that health and wholeness. It is our experience, and I say yes to it. Because I say yes to it, I simply now release this word into the activity of the law, knowing that it is done. It is already done. It is done now. So I say, and now it is. And I simply allow it to take charge in, through, and as my life. So for this and so much more, I give thanks. I let it be so. And now it is. And so it is. Amen.
What a magnificent message, Reverend Sunshine. Thank you so much. Please show your appreciation in any way you can. Love seeing those reactions on our Zoom feed. And thanks to you on our live stream as well. Whew. Wow, that's a lot, and I loved it. Thank you so much. Yes, I love the point of distinguishing emotions from thoughts. Isn't that a powerful, powerful little statement? Loved it, loved it, loved it. All right, as is our tradition here at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, we recognize and acknowledge birthdays in the coming month, in the month of May, and we're not missing anyone since we're starting on the first day in May. So please unmute yourselves or put in the chat anyone you near and dear, if it's you or someone else in your life that has a birthday in May. And I will just start by saying my eldest brother, Keith, his birthday is May the 5th. And who else? I think...
My grandson Cruz is Cinco de Mayo.
So, same as my brother. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And
I
I know
have a
that...
couple of birthdays.
Go ahead, Rev.
Today is my friend Deanna Stone. Her birthday, May 1st, May Day. And then our very own Sunny Day is going to be celebrating this Wednesday on May the 4th. She's a Star Wars baby. May the 4th be with you. And I think John Myers. I think John Myers may have a birthday.
Yeah, it just says my day, but I didn't finish. I know it's somewhere in there. I can look it up if you want. And our friend Vivian, who we haven't seen in a while, but her birthday is in May. And so last call before we sing, and we sing happy birthday, and in the place of the name, we say we love you. So unmute yourselves as we sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We love you. Happy birthday to you. and many more.
That was for John's daughter, Beatrice, had said in the chat.
Got it.
Ah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you. All right. Well, thoroughly enjoyed our time together today. And as also is our tradition, we love to close in prayer. And in this instance, we sing the prayer. We sing "In Love We Stand." And obviously, a prayer that raised in song is a prayer prayed at least twice. So again, I invite you to either mute or unmute, and probably stay muted as we sing "In Love We Stand."
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand.
That's so wonderful. Thank you to our live streamers on Facebook live stream and YouTube. Thank you for joining us here today. We will have a wonderful week. We will see you next week. Farewell as our Zoom meeting continues on.